Welcome to The Brain Dump, where we study the psychology of success. Join us as we probe the habits, rituals, and routines of top-performing artists, entrepreneurs, authors, athletes, and more to uncover the timeless principles we can all use to take our lives to the next level. Are you ready to plunge the grunge that's been gunking up your mind's eye? Great, then let's get to it.
Guys, welcome back to the Brain Dump. We got Anthony in the house. How you doing, sir?
Everybody's celebrating.
So Anthony's got
like it's 1999.
Anthony's got the topic yet, so we'll see. I'm intrigued. I mean, I spent 2 hours this morning talking about NFTs and crypto and blockchain and real estate. So I think I can cover it all.
You can go anywhere. This man, there's nothing he can't talk about.
They call me the Renaissance. I mean, I'm a Renaissance man.
Do they? They call me the Dark Ages. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know if that's as complimentary. I think I'd rather be the Renaissance. That sounds cool. Okay, here's my topic. Here's my topic for all you beautiful listeners out there. And I don't know when this episode's going live, but I'm guessing probably this is the new year. Like we're recording this. It's still 2020.
Yeah. And it's such a weird space for me because I just recorded something for the new year and I was like already yelling at them that they've already given up on their goals a weekend.
You're like, I don't need to wait until the new year to know that you've given up on your goal. I know what's going to happen. So let's just get this out of the way right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So here's my question to you guys. I was meditating this morning. And I was meditating on the thought that, and the question, I like to ask myself the question and then meditate and journal on it. And that question was, what beliefs do I have about myself that do not serve me? And then I had a call with a potential coach. And he asked me the question, and I was on this call with my business partner, Dan, and he asked us the question. He goes, what are you hesitating to do? And I was like, oh, that's a really good question. It's kind of tied into what I was thinking about this morning already. Like, what are those limiting beliefs, or not even limiting, just what are those beliefs that you have about yourself that do not serve you? And then second, what are you hesitating to do?
Wow.
So
Austin, this is good. Well, This is, you might've watched that video, but Hermosi was talking about going home for Christmas.
No, that's actually what sparked that question for me.
Well, that is a very loaded question. So I sent that into my recovery group and everybody was like, holy shit. This is what my uncle does to me. This is what my dad does to me.
Let's explain this.
Okay. So
this is powerful. And that video was actually the reason I watched it a couple of days ago. Is the reason I journaled on that particular question right now.
Dude, this is everything because, okay, I'll start here and work backwards. It's as simple as saying you're working out every day and you are inside your own life. So you don't see the change in the mirror, but then you show up, like 60 days later to people who haven't seen you. They're like, oh, damn, you lost some weight. Right. And so you're in the midst of changing and you're surrounded by high level individuals and you're showing up for yourself. You're listening to podcasts. You're doing all these things. Well, said person, uncle, cousin, sister, brother, mom, dad, they know you. By the way, this happened to me for 20 plus years and it triggered me every time. And my dad would still speak to me as if I'm 18 and here I am sober. And I'm like, you don't even know me anymore, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And it would trigger me and it would get me so angry. And it's not until he put out that video that I go, okay, they're speaking their old beliefs of who I used to be into me. And it's setting me off because I know that I've changed. And man, dude, talk about a trigger point for, I bet 90% of people, if you saw that video.
Oh, it's powerful. It's powerful because, and we've talked about this so many times on this podcast that it's almost becoming trite and like well-worn territory that nobody cares about anymore. It's just the fact that like identities change. Who you are now is not who you were 5 years ago, not even yesterday. You're different people. And if you're like us, if you're listening to this podcast right now, a podcast that's about the psychology of success, you are trying to become better tomorrow than you are today. And so the paradigm that defines who you are now will not serve you next year. And if we if you hold yourself to the same standard that you did 10 years ago, you would look back and that's ridiculous, right? But the problem is when you are shifting your identity, that doesn't mean that the people around you are also shifting their perception of your identity. They know you as a particular thing in a particular way. And that's how they know how to relate to you. And they don't want you to change. Well, it's not that they don't want you to change. It's that they don't know what to do with this new you. And so we just put over.
But you know why, right?
That we have already identified, right?
Yeah, but you know why they don't want you to change, right?
Because, well, there's a lot of reasons for it. But
what makes them look at themselves?
It makes them analyze and say, oh, I'm not changing as well, or I'm changing, but in ways that I'm not satisfied with. And it becomes this keeping up with the Joneses thing.
So I've never shared this with you, and I've been talking about it more recently because I think it's important. And it's not something I like talking about. I've had 2 or 3 gentlemen, by the way, guys that are scary, like 6'2", jacked, who have almost physically fought me. And in the moment, I'm like, I don't understand what is going on right now. And what I realized is they had tried to get sober for years. And because I was sober, healthy, and happy, it destroyed them inside. And the only thing that they could do was try to fight me to get me away or like make me go down to their level. Mm-hmm. And it was a really scary situation.
Yeah. You cannot underestimate how, like, I've used this analogy before. We are either living as a bucket of crabs or a barrel of monkeys, right? The bucket of crabs, when you put a bunch of crabs in there, they all crawl around. They're all trying to get out of the bucket. And as one is starting to crawl out, the others grab him and pull him back down. That's the bucket of crabs theory of life. And that's the life that most of us are familiar with. The barrel of monkeys is, if you remember that game as a child, like one of them has an arm that goes up and then the arm comes down. So as you pull them out of the barrel, they're both reaching up to get out. And they're also reaching down to help pull somebody else out. And so that's where I'm trying to live my life. But the question at the core of it is, what beliefs do you have about yourself that do not serve you, right? And we've been talking about identity and the relationship that other people have with our identity. But I want to dive into the beliefs and the identity that you have for yourself that you hold so close to your heart that you don't even think to criticize or question it.
No, I've been doing that in my coaching certification, and it sucked. Like it's like we have our last call before graduation right after this. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like it's been the most awkward, like 2 months of my life because he's making us talk about the parts of ourselves that nobody wants to talk about. And it's as simple as this. I'm so conditioned to think people are looking down on me or attacking me that I don't know what true love looks like. Like, and I'll use my girlfriend for a scenario. Like I'm sitting here getting triggered by something she's saying you're attacking me. But if I really was looking out from the surface, I would say, no, she just loves and supports me. But that's not the way I see it because the people closest to me have left me.
Yeah. And I can see this with you in particular, where and this is part of your brand, right? Like you have this chip on your shoulder. And since you got sober and you're like, fuck the world, I'm going to show you. And like, I'm going to be, the best version of myself. Like you have this thing that you're trying to prove. And we've talked about this on previous episodes where you've gotten in your evolution, you've realized like a bit of that fire is gone because like what
scary
won't get you there. And you're like, well, what replaces, I don't need that fire anymore. Like that, because you can't just burn all the time with that type of energy.
Have you been talking to Cassie?
No.
Have you been talking to my girlfriend? No, because I feel like I'm having the same conversation. No, it's the truth, man. Anthony, you hit it right on the head. It scares me because I don't know who I am without that chip or that fire, man. That like pure, unadulterated fire. But what I'm realizing, if I want to be the CEO and the visionary of multiple companies, and I want to coach very high level individuals, I can't be so emotional all the time. And it's a simple question of, do I want better for myself? Because here's what I'm fighting against. I'm saying, how dare you question me when all they're asking me to do is be better? How dare them for even asking that, right? But when you truly stand back from it, it's just out of love. Mm-hmm.
There's both our boy Hormozy and then our other boy Naval. They said things that are really similar here, which is that I think Hormozy said that wisdom is to see the same thing as somebody else, but to see things they don't. Right? Like you're both looking at the same thing, but you see something different or more. And it's like the difference between what are you looking at and what do you see? And then the other part of this is Naval talks about how, and I think I've used this before as a compliment, and I think it's the best compliment I've ever given. And so if you ever hear me say this to you, then know that it's like my highest praise, which is that person is a clear thinker. They're a clear thinker, and you can't think clearly when you're emotionally revved up. You have to be calm, and the word that Alex always uses is you have to be quiet. You have to
well, he said it. He said it in that thing, and it's something that my space is clear.
Your space is clear. Yep, exactly.
My space is clear. There's no distractions. It's quiet around me. Because it's quiet around me, there's no confusion, so I can actually pinpoint what's going on.
Yeah. Which is going to lead into the topic of the next episode, which you don't even know yet. So our listeners, I'm just letting you know, like right now, you have something to look forward to next week. That episode, we're going to dive into something that's intricately tied to.
I feel vulnerable. I love this. Yeah. No, it's guys, this episode is going to come out in the new year, and we don't even care if you listen to us, really, guys. But
we truly don't.
But what I hope when you hear this is it sparks something inside of you, and I hope that you make this year, this 2022. I hope you make it even better than last year. I hope you push your goals. I hope you become a better version of yourself and continue to run down that 1%. And I know that's our hope for you. So if you've got some value from this, go ahead.
Well, before you get to that, before you get to the friend request and tell them to leave a review and everything.
No, I wasn't going to do that. Yeah.
I want to go to the question that started this.
Okay.
What are you hesitating to do? That's your homework. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Like, what is it, given everything that we're talking about right now? Because we always know, like when you really stop to reflect and think on these questions, you know what you're hesitating to do. You know what needs to get done and what you're not doing. So what is that thing that you know you need to do that you're not? And then go do it.
I was about to answer it because I thought you were asking me. I already had it.
Well, actually, that's really interesting. So let's keep this episode going just a bit longer. So we
charge more.
Charge more. You can
charge more.
Yeah,
charge
exactly.
More. Yeah,
more value. Get a little bit more.
Well, but, it's a delicate equation of my time is getting less, and I want people bought in. So it's kind of I almost look at my coaching pricing with my time and what I'm bringing to the my clients as a triangle, and all three need to be kind of right in the center. And I just brought on my most expensive client ever, and that felt really good, and he's loving it. And so as the prices keep trekking up, I think I'm going to find the sweet spot in my triangle for my lifestyle as well too.
This is pertinent. A couple of days ago, I was reflecting and journaling on the idea of these two questions, which was, what's the highest and best use of my time? And then the second question is like, what's my time worth? Like, what's my time actually worth? And answering those two questions concurrently is really important, because one, you look at the landscape of your life and say, what's the highest and best use of my life? Okay. If that's all I did, if that's all I focused on, what would that be worth to the world? And that really should be the baseline price by which you're running your business and your time, and like looking at opportunities and saying, Nev always had like his hypothetical value for like his hourly wage of like, $5,000 an hour is like what my time is worth. And anything that costs him less than 5,000, he's like, I don't do it, or I outsource it. If it's over 5,000, yes, that's what I'm doing. So I don't know what your number is.
Needs to be higher. That's all I know. I had a mentor tell me, whatever you think your number is, take it, double it, and then double it again, and then you're probably lining up where you should be.
There's like this. I don't remember who said it, but they're like, if you don't feel slightly embarrassed telling people like your value, then it's not high enough. You need to feel slightly uncomfortable.
And I don't want to dive down the rabbit hole in that, because that could be a whole episode on itself. So guys, send this out to your friends, share it with somebody to get some value. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us here at The Brain Dump. Now, before you go, it's important to solidify what you've learned here today by taking action. If all you do is listen, then you're only going to retain a small amount of the information you consumed here today. So take a quick moment to really lock in any key insights, tidbits, or pieces of wisdom that you want to carry with you into the future. You can do this by heading over to iTunes and leaving a review with your top 3 takeaways from this episode. If you've already left a review, first, thank you so much. Second, it's time to start a brain dump journal. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a slip of paper will do where you can record a couple quick thoughts from each episode. Science shows this is one of the best ways to ensure long-term retention of new information. And finally, if you've got a brother, a sister, a coworker, or a best friend that you think would benefit from this episode, do them and us a favor and share with them this episode. Your support, as always, means the world to us.